Welcome to Making Meaningful Connections using the Amputee Coalition support app. My name is Nicole Gross, and I'm the Strategic Partnership Manager with the Amputee Coalition, and I am joined with my wonderful colleague in peer support, Susan Tipton, who is our peer support coordinator. We appreciate you all taking time to join us for this presentation. At the heart of our mission is our peer support programs. Our goal is to make sure that no one goes through their journey alone, and we feel that our support app is one way we are accomplishing this goal, and we're excited to share some of the functions and features with both community members and our volunteers. This presentation will provide a brief history of the support app, a step-by-step overview of its functionality, focusing on everything from creating an account to requesting a peer visit to requesting resources. I'll then turn it over to Susan, who will share the benefits of using our support app for both the person receiving the peer support and the certified peer visitor who volunteers their time on behalf of the Amputee Coalition to provide meaningful and relatable peer support. If attendees have any questions as we move through this presentation, please submit them in the chat or the Q&A tabs. Katie will also be our moderator, and she will help facilitate those questions so that we can provide responses. We'll hold all questions until the end of each particular slide group, and we'll get started with sharing a bit more about the support app history and how to get started using our app. So our Amputee Coalition support app was designed with feedback from our volunteer certified peer visitors and was created to make managing peer visitation easy and convenient. We also listened to valuable feedback from community members on ways to provide virtual engagement with peer support visits and how to request resources from the Amputee Coalition. Peer visits take place every day across the country, whether they're in person or virtually. And if you've had an amputation, are scheduled to have an amputation, were born with a limb difference, or are a parent, spouse, or caregiver of a person with limb loss or limb difference, you can request a complimentary peer visit through the Amputee Coalition. Our app is free, it's HIPAA compliant, and is a mobile application designed for those living with limb loss, limb difference, and caregivers. This app embodies the power of connection and makes the support and outreach process easier for both the person receiving peer support, whom we'll call throughout this presentation and throughout our certified peer visitor trainings as visitees, as well as the Amputee Coalition volunteer certified peer visitor, also known as CPV. Here is a take action slide. For those of you that are joining this presentation today, feel free to take the time now to download the free Amputee Coalition support app from the Apple App Store, Google Play, or the web browser link that will be added into the chat, which is cpvapp.amputee-coalition.org. These documents and images are also available at the Amputee Coalition's virtual exhibitor booth. There are unique and specialized login instructions for both the visitee and CPV, as well as different support app functions and features. Some of these include scheduling peer visits, managing visitee and CPV rosters, conducting and joining in-app peer visits using in-app text messaging, in-app video chatting. For certified peer visitors, this is a way to report scheduled and unscheduled peer visits. And for both the visitee and the certified peer visitor, you may contact the Amputee Coalition peer support team with direct messaging, as well as request Amputee Coalition resources. On the next few slides, we will talk through various stages, steps, functions, and features as if you have downloaded the Amputee Coalition support app and are ready to get started. This is the support app's welcome screen. You will see this screen the first time you open the app after your initial download from the Apple App Store, Google Play, or the web browser link. On the screen, there are two options for gaining access to the app. To utilize the app as a community member, also known as visitee, please click on the top orange bubble that reads, "I'm living with limb loss or a caregiver." Next, click on Create an Account. If this is your first time logging in, you'll need to create an account. Simply enter your first name, last name, and your email address. You'll review the terms and conditions and click Yes, I agree. Once you enter the information and click Next up at the top right, you'll receive an email to finalize the setup of your account. This is a sample of the email you will receive. Click on the verification link in the body of the email to finalize the setup of your account. Upon verifying your email, you will be logged in successfully. When you are logged in for the first time, you will need to complete your registration profile by filling in your profile details and pressing submit. And we'll go through the profile management on a different slide. This is another image of the Support App's welcome screen, which will highlight creating a new account for certified peer visitors. You will see this same screen the first time you log into the app after your initial download. To utilize the app as a volunteer certified peer visitor with the Amputee Coalition, please click on the bottom orange bubble that reads, I'm a certified peer visitor. Next, click on I need to sign up for an account. After your initial login, you'll need to create a CPV account. You're going to enter the email address, which is used with your certified peer visitor profile and on our records with the Amputee Coalition. Once you enter your email address, simply click submit and you will begin the setup process. Both visitees and certified peer visitors can build their profile with information that is most helpful to connect with well-suited peers. After clicking on the hamburger menu at the top left, you will see links to your profile. Visitee profiles will see a link to certified peer visitors, and CPV profiles will see a link to visitees. Your profile screen contains your profile photo, which is a requirement in order to use this app, which you can edit when needed by clicking on the edit button in the upper right corner of the screen. I will pause there to see if there are any questions that came through from the attendees after going through these initial setup steps. And if there are not, we will keep going.
Hey, Nicole, there are no questions at this time.
Okay, thank you, Katie. All right, as we move on to the home screen, we want to make sure that you're taking time to log into the account, and you will see this home screen every single time. So this will be a familiar screen. For visitees from your home screen, you can request a peer visit, view your scheduled peer visits, request resources, and join live peer visits. You can also contact the National Limb Loss Resource Center directly from your home screen. Let's get started by requesting a peer visit and begin the process of being connected with a certified peer visitor. Visitees start the request process by clicking on the request peer visit that is circled on this screen that is directly on the home screen. You select the type of visit you want to request, and you'll be prompted to select your peer visit preferences. Some of the preferences include the type of peer visit you'd like, other visit options such as in person, by the phone, in-app text messaging, in-app video chatting, your gender preferences for your certified peer visitor, when you'd like to receive the peer visit, as well as an open text box to note visit expectations. Once your selections are submitted, you'll click submit in the top right corner, and your request will be submitted to the Amputee Coalition's peer support team. They will quickly begin the process to find a well-suited certified peer visitor within the support app that meets your preferences to the best of their ability. You'll receive notification from the peer support team once a certified peer visitor has been confirmed. Once you have been paired with a certified peer visitor, visitees' peer visits can be scheduled. Let's discuss how you'll manage your peer visits through the support app. From the home screen, you can select scheduled peer visits, which is circled in the blue in the screen, if you want to view or join an upcoming peer visit. If you have visits scheduled, you'll see them listed here on this slide. You can tell what type of peer visit you have scheduled by the gray image next to the certified peer visitor's name. For example, on this slide, you can see that this visitee has 3 scheduled peer visits, 1 phone visit with John Smith and 2 in-person peer visits with Steve Johnson. Let's review how to get started on joining an in-app peer visit. In-app text and video visits are scheduled at specific times. Remember, like we said earlier, you can view or join an upcoming visit by clicking on Scheduled Peer Visits on your home screen. After clicking on Scheduled Peer Visits, you'll see the icon on the top right of the certified peer visitor's name, which will turn orange during the appointment time. This orange image indicates that it is time for you to join the visit. To join, simply click on the icon. If you have chosen to have an in-app text visit, your visit will take place within the app and will look similar to the image on the screen. You can message back and forth with the certified peer visitor, and when you are finished, You can leave the peer visit by simply clicking Done at the top of the screen. Peer visits can be conducted by phone, text, or video, all within the Amputee Coalition support app. None of the video chats, none of the text messaging are downloaded or saved or recorded, so feel free to share those intimate conversations all within the safety and comfort of your mobile device. Another great feature of the Amputee Coalition support app is the ability for visitees and certified peer visitors to request educational resources right from their smartphones, tablets, or computer's web browser. The Amputee Coalition's National Limb Loss Resource Center offers many helpful online resources, print materials, and event information, which are all accessible to you from within the app. To view resources, select the circled request resources that you see on this slide from your home screen. You have several options available for you in the resources section. You can request resources such as request an information specialist, request free printed resources. You can look at our online resources that are found under the National Limb Loss Resource Center, such as our fact sheets, our community connection searchable database, our various fact sheets surrounding emotional well-being and mental health. You can browse state resources from a map and additional resources such as pain management. On the events tab, you can get more information about our national conference, our youth camp, limb loss education days, community events, webinars, and limb loss and limb difference awareness month. When requesting free printed materials, you'll need to fill out the request resource order form with your information and your preferences. You'll select the products that you are interested in receiving and click Submit Order when you are finished with your selection. Certified peer visitors and visitees can also view frequently asked questions and contact the Amputee Coalition peer support team directly within the app by simply clicking on Contact Amputee Coalition that is circled on this slide. This will open your in-app messaging system and you can draft a new message to send to the Amputee Coalition staff. Staff will review your message and respond within 1 business day. Lastly, visitees and certified peer visitors can also contact the National Limb Loss Resource Center from the home screen by simply clicking on the call button at the bottom of your screen. Remember, when the Amputee Coalition Resource Center, we're always open for you. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are using the support app to reach out to the Resource Center, also know that you can use our website under the question mark under Ask Us Questions to be connected with our Asking Information and Referral Specialist form and request your various needs all directly within the website. And as we talk about the benefits and engagement of our volunteers and our community members, I will pass this over to Susan Tipton. But first I'll say that we want to make sure that nobody journeys alone. No one is in better position to understand about living life with limb loss and limb difference than someone who has truly lived the experience. We know that now more than ever, more people are wanting to be connected, they want to stay connected, and they want to feel a sense of belonging through community connections and support. And through our HIPAA compliant support app, which is a free download, we can make those connections happen virtually throughout the country and also provide local ways to connect with in-person visitation. We know that our certified peer visitors appreciate the importance of being required to report their peer visits, as it helps us continue to receive federal grant funding so that we can ensure our patient resources and our peer support programs are offered at no cost to our community. And I will now pass this over to Susan Tipton to talk about our support app competitions.
In the app, we have reporting competitions. This, of course, is for our certified peer visitors. We do them on different levels, state, regional, and national, as just a fun way to compete and see who can report the most visits. As Nicole mentioned earlier, that is an important part of our peer support program, our visits reported. One, so that new amputees and people new to limb loss can get connected with the coalition through emails. That's a big way we communicate with folks, to get the In Motion magazine and things like that. So we do have prizes. Typically, they've been free registration, sometimes to conference, sometimes they've been gift cards. Last year, everybody that reported even one visit got put into a drawing for prizes, so that it gave everybody the opportunity to compete and report and help those folks that they're visiting. So it's just an exciting thing to do. And we try to do them at least once a year. And we hope to do that at least maybe 4 times a year starting next year.
Thank you, Susan. And I think the next slide speaks volumes to the uptick when we can show our token of appreciation to our volunteers. It means we reach more people in more places that we know we can't always host certified peer visitor training classes. We're starting to reach those states with a rural-based population. And so this next slide highlights, since the initial launch of our support app during our national conference back in 2018, we've had over 370 registered certified peer visitors use the app. We've supported over 3,600 visitees who have been visited by a certified peer visitor. And this particular colorful chart, while it's not a state map, it does highlight the states that have been impacted by our support app. This chart shows 522 scheduled peer visits by location. The states of California, Tennessee, Texas, Pennsylvania, and Florida consistently rank top states for us as the most scheduled peer visits that we get reported by peer visitors. The states we know we need to reach more through our support app that are not represented on this chart are Alaska, Iowa, Idaho, Louisiana, Maine, Montana, Puerto Rico, and Rhode Island. We have had a steady increase each year since the launch of this visitee feature on the number of peer visits that have been requested through the app. As our network of hospital and rehab facility partners continues to grow and expand, we also hope our support app can reach more patients in the clinical setting and provide a convenient way for patients to access peer support through our app during the most vulnerable stages while they're recovering after an amputation. We've also seen a large uptick in the number of conducted peer visits that our peer visitors are using to report directly through the app, which is greatly appreciated because we hope it saves the volunteers time and also staff time within the Amputee Coalition of reducing some data entry to ensure we're collecting the number of peer visits that are reported so that we can submit those to our federal grant funder.
No matter how peer visits are requested, scheduled, conducted, or reported, we know there's a wide range of benefits for everyone involved in peer support, such as a healthier mindset, making healthier lifestyle choices, gaining a better sense of community, which is really important, and feeling a renewed sense of purpose. For patients and families receiving relatable peer support, they can gain a better understanding of the limb loss and limb difference journey from someone who really gets it. There's also benefits for the health system where a patient receives care prior to surgery or after an amputation. There's a decrease in hospital readmissions and an increase in a patient's self-advocacy and self-determination. Through the Coalition Support app, peer support is more readily available and connections can stretch far and wide. We have the opportunity to connect people sometimes in the same city and sometimes clear across the nation. We're proud that the app continues to be a silver lining amid the continued impact of COVID. While many hospitals and rehab facilities have restrictions still on in-person visitation, the app is a unique way for patients to connect with relatable support right before and soon after amputation, all within the comfort and safety of their hospital bed and with the support of their medical team. More frequent checkups and follow-up peer visits can be scheduled that way too. Peer visits can be requested within the app based on a variety of needs, and the peer support staff has an efficient way to filter through various requests and meet the needs of visitees based on age, gender, race and ethnicity, amputation information, location, and a growing sense of being connected to someone who shares the same hobbies, such as gardening or riding a motorcycle, arts and crafts, music, dancing, running, and much, much more. Actually today we got a request in the app, and normally it's sometimes a little difficult to find somebody that is in person for someone that's requesting an in-person visit. And it was in Utah, and the cities weren't familiar to me. So I thought, well, they're probably on the opposite ends of the state. So I Googled the distance between the two cities, And these two women are 15 minutes apart from each other. That doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, it's really exciting then to be able to give that back to them and say, you know, if you're both willing to get together still among COVID, you can. And that's it. When people can find out that they can meet in person, it's really exciting. And it makes us feel good too, that we're able to provide that. So thanks.
Thank you, Susan. So this is our final action slide. These images, again, are available at the Amputee Coalition virtual exhibit booth. There's a QR code now to make it easier for just scanning it in and making the download. This presentation will be recorded, so you can go back to review these steps. For certified peer visitors, we do provide a tutorial and some demonstrations specifically for the certified peer visitors perspective. That is a direct contact that we make with our certified peer visitors that we don't publicly share. But for the certified peer visitors and the visitees who do download the app, there is a way to download the frequently asked questions. If you do come into some questions or confusions, you can either reach out to the peer support team or reference the FAQs that are found within the app. We can also send you an email so that that PDF can be attached in an email to you. And again, it's an Apple App Store download. It's a Google Play download. It's also a web browser link at cpvapp.amputee-coalition.org. This concludes our support app presentation. If there are any attendee questions that did come through throughout the last segment, we'll be happy to answer them. But we appreciate everybody's time being on this. And again, it will be recorded, so you can circle back with us. But we do hope to see more engagement with our support app and hope we can reach more people where they meet and where they gather in a virtual environment or in person, and utilize the efficient functionalities that we have taken time and resources to build out for our community.
Hey, Nicole, this is Katie. We have a couple questions from the audience. The first one is, as a CPV, does this keep track of all the people that I have done peer visits with?
Yes, and I think that is one of the best features of that, is that our certified peer visitors want to take ownership in their peer visitation. So this is a way for them to keep track of the visitees, circle back with them, share that follow-up, make sure that they're scheduling their peer visits and they're doing that timely follow-up. So this is a way that we can help the peer visitors manage their peer visitations.
And let me elaborate on that a little bit too. As a peer visitor, once you report a visit, for example, on Nicole Gross, you enter that peer visit, all of her phone number, information, email. So when you go back to report a follow-up visit, and you type in to like search for a visitee and you type in Nicole, all of her information will come up. So for the follow-up visit, all you have to do is report that you did the visit on October 13th at 2 o'clock or whatever. So it's a time saver for you too when reporting follow-up visits.
Thank you both. The other question is can I receive new amputee packets, the orange packets, through the app?
Yes, and that's where the request resources, going back to a couple slides ago, that is a direct way that you can request those resources. It gives us the casework, so we can track that in our database and get that to be fulfilled within our outsourced fulfillment center. So that is one of the feedbacks that we took from our volunteers, is they wanted to make sure that they could report peer visits more effectively, and also get the request to receive more orange resource tote bags so that they can disseminate those out. And I also think with the growth in our hospital partnership program too, there's going to be a great need to take in some additional feedback as we launch a new version for hospital partners and certified peer visitors who become part of hospital partners rosters. So if there's any feedback, if there's any additional features that you would like to see, please know that we listen to all the feedback and we take it into account so that we can make sure that this app works for you all in the various ways that you're utilizing it. So please don't be shy to let us know any feedback that you have. We'll always take that back to our app development team. We just had another meeting this past week talking about the new version that we're building out for hospital partners. And we're taking all the feedback that has come from community members who are patients, as well as the certified peer visitors. And now with a unique perspective of the medical care team stepping in to use our app for providing patient peer support.
Hi, Nicole. That is all the questions we have. So, and so that's it.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. Again, if you'd like to reach out to the peer support team by email, it's peersupport@amputee-coalition.org. You can also call our resource center at 888-267-5669 and take advantage of finding a wealth of knowledge and information and resource links on our website. But please visit the Amputee Coalition's exhibit booth for grabbing more information